Hello, welcome to the Reminise podcast. We are clear-minded of the thoughts that are preventing clarity, practice my speech, among other things. Episodes range from informative knowledge to funny stories about my experiences, and in the future, maybe include interviews. So subscribe and enjoy. Episodes drop every other day. Okay, and also welcome back to Reframe My Mindset podcast. My name is Constant Brooks, and basically, this episode is kind of more geared towards the Jamaican audience because only most of the Jamaican audience will get this. But even though they might get it, you never know. But basically, I have to talk about the first time I ever bought chicken back. But prior to then, I've eaten it before. My family usually cook it and such like that. But chicken back in Jamaica, I think, is one of those they call the cheap. When they don't have much money, is what you will buy to basically substitute as meat. So you can have something to eat. So basically now, to get the story started, I'm at UWI. And back at my university. And if you are known at my university now, that's where I kind of started my cooking journey, learning how to cook different stuff for myself because you have to cook because I never really have that much money to basically buy food every day, so I have to actually learn how to cook and such like that. And then not only that, I have to eventually learn how to buy groceries for myself. So that's the next thing. So basically now the thing is with the money that I get, the best thing to do is just try to get the things that you need in the cheapest way possible. So my 3-year journey has been my way trying to figure out what's the best thing to buy and such like that. So basically now there was this one time now where me and some people on the dorm that know me, so they are going to this shop, to the supermarket, and it's like okay, because I think during this, I think what happened was, I think it was second year, it was the best I can say it was after second year because it was after I became the domestic affairs chairman. And then basically from then me and the people on the committee kind of got closer, so more when I usually went on the hall and such like that, I'm usually more friendly with them and talk more and such like that. So basically what now they say one Sunday they're going to this supermarket and such like that because they want to buy some stuff. So basically on the university we also have a pool. So I think that's where we kind of got close because on the retreat we went and do a pool thing to kind of get close. You as a pool. Speaking of pool, I missed out. Speaking of pool, just make me love water, man. I'm miss going to water to just cool off. For the story about the pool. UWI pool. The water is so cold, bro. The water is so cold. Like every time it's like I'm freezing when I'm going in there. So, going back to the story. So, as I said, the supermarket that I was going in is kind of in a bad area. So, the university is surrounded, and there's one section of the place. So it's like the university is a campus. So imagine like a circle or a square. A circle, I would assume, with the university in it. And then you have one section of the university. When you go outside of it, it's basically a bad area. So that was one of the areas. But the thing about it is that there are supermarket there or wholesale that sells things cheaper than other places, you know. And so they went there, and I see them buy some stuff, buy some things and whatnot. And I said, okay, I'm going to buy something as well. And then the idea came to me was to buy chicken back, because as I said, I'm trying to figure out what is the best thing I can get for cheap while not sacrificing the taste and whatnot. And I remember usually eating chicken back, and I usually like it, chicken back, and nothing was really wrong with it. So the plan is basically me just buying some chicken back, cooking it, and then, I have something to eat. So basically I bought it, and then next thing is, yesterday, so about friends making fun of me. I say, chicken back and such like that. But they were making fun of me for the reason I will explain later, not because it was for the reason I will mention later, but then when they were making fun of me, I have to say, I have to buy the cheapest thing because I'm trying to maximize my money and such like that. Because on the campus, everybody will know me, knew me that I was cheap. I was very cheap, and so much that everybody see me know. I always assume that I'm mean. And, that was one of the perks of being at the university. When people assume that you're mean, they're less likely to ask you for stuff. So, 2 for 1 special, So that's what, back to another lesson. Basically, when people make negative assumptions about you, sometimes you have to be happy about the negative assumption, because if they think the positive things, then they won't try to take advantage of the positive aspect of you. So that's one of the good things. So, like, for example, if people assume that you're rich, they will come ask you for money. So if they feel that you're poor, that's one of the greatest thing. But just realizing that you have life, having life is very rich, So that's one of the secrets, Basically, now back to the story. So basically, now I'm going to make this meat. So I put so it's around 2 pounds. So I'm making the rice and such, and then I'm going to brown stew. I'm not sure if the other outside Jamaica would have know this thing, but basically, boom, brown stew it and trying to basically cook it. So what happened now is after when I'm trying to basically take off the skin, because when I'm trying to clean off the chicken to basically clean it off to then season it up and then to get it brown stewed and then cook. When I'm actually trying to remove the skin off the chicken, I'm realizing it's the whole chicken that is coming off. Like there's no, like when you have chicken breasts, like if you take off the skin, there's like a thigh or something like that. Wrong thing. I talk about breast and thigh, but let's go back to thigh. Like thigh, if you take off this crispy layer, there's like a meat under it. When I'm doing that for the chicken, there's basically nothing under it. I'm like, what in the world? So basically, what happened was about like 2 pounds or such of the chicken back, and when I basically ended up cleaning up everything, it was mostly bones and a little bit of meat. So it was like at best half a pound of meat. I'm like, I almost cried, bro. I'm like, it's like, what? Why? When I was doing, I was like, why the hell people actually buy this stuff? You see me? It's like, one of the biggest rip-off ever. But, that was one of the saddest. It was one of those, the wrong purchase. From then, I never bought chicken back ever. Never bought chicken back ever. And it's like, it was one of the biggest rip-off in my life. And I had to actually cook it And mostly what happened was when I was eating it, it was mostly gravy. Basically gravy and the rice that I was eating. That I was like, yo, that was one of those L's that I just basically take, Yeah, just take the L, but is progress. One thing I've for people going to the university, university is a fun experience, bro. It's one of the it's it's one of the hardest and funnest experience you will have, man. Mm, those days, those days are nice. Would I want to really go back and relive it? No, because I hate the school portion of it. I had to actually study and such like that. But university, you learn so much life stuff, which and I really learn much life stuff. Most of the stuff that I've actually learned was after I leave university when I actually start to look back and then see the information, see the things that I could have learned and applied at university, and I was like, oh yeah, I could do that and do better. But I actually applied it in real life to actually progress. So so university you're going in young, dumb and broke, but hopefully this podcast episode will get you to actually maybe not be so dumb when you're going. You actually make better choices than I did when I went there. Yeah, so basically that's it for this episode. I look forward for the next episode. Thanks for listening.
Well, this is the end of the episode. Thanks for watching and look forward for the next episode. To support this podcast, go to anchor.fm/cssb/support or become a sponsor for this episode. If you have a product that you want to have more exposure, DM me on the Instagram page, Reframing Mindset Podcast, or on Twitter at ReframingP. Either way would help. Thank you regardless for listening, and here's a preview for the next episode.